Life is marked by a handful of experiences that change the direction we take. So what would you say is one experience that changed the course of your life in general?
Well, 31 years ago I left Sweden and went to North America. Of course, it's really changed the, outcome of my life. Sometimes you look back and say, you wonder how would life be if you stayed home. And Sweden is a big harness racing land, but I'm glad I made that move.
It would be April 1996 when I jumped on a horse transport plane and flew from Auckland to Los Angeles to land in the States and end up going to New Jersey.
Probably moving here to Ontario from Alberta 5 years ago, and it definitely changed my life for sure.
Getting a horse like Good Times, that changed my life. That's as good as any.
I was going to go to vet school and went to the Harrisburg yearling sale, and the first horse I ever purchased, I spent $9,000 on her, and her name was Raging Samantha, and she ended up being the best age trotting mare in the country later on, and from then on I kind of gave up on being a vet, and I just stayed on with the horses.
I would have to say, when I first decided to get into this business, I had a job in marketing and sales. I had an education. Not that everybody needs one to be in this business, but I think it's helped me. But I decided to go this route. I wasn't happy sitting at a desk and working on a computer, and it took a long time, but it's definitely changed my life and led me in a direction that I'm a lot happier with and a lot more comfortable with on a day-to-day basis.
When I was in grade 9, the teachers went on strike, and they were on strike for 6 months, and I was out of school, and I started training horses, and that probably changed my direction.
Oh, I guess when my stepfather came into the world, or brought me into this game anyway, that changed the course of direction I think I was going. So he allowed me to drop out of high school and go to Mohawk College, Barn 7, Tack Room 7. And that's been our path ever since. So, but it's been a good one. So,
probably, I always wanted to be a driver, and that never changed. Obviously, I love hockey and I love the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I used to love the Oilers because of Gretzky. But I guess the thing I could say that changed maybe the course of my life is, I took 1 year in broadcast journalism at Mohawk College, and I just realized then that that part of the world wasn't for me, and this is what I wanted to do. I was moonlighting as a trainer, driver, whatever. In the meantime, one drive a week in the last race. Saturday nights at Flamborough. But I think it was actually going to college and realizing that horse racing was my calling.
I used to like playing hockey a lot, I guess, but I wasn't very good at it. So I got into horses, and here I am.
Well, probably just like anybody, the first time to the racetrack and being involved at the racetrack for the first time. When you see what you like and you know what you like, it gets in your blood real quick after.
For me, it was when I was 16 years old and I went behind the starting gate to school a horse. And that forever changed everything, because before that I didn't know if I really wanted to drive. And once I got behind the gate, I knew that's all I wanted to do.
Probably the first day my dad let me jog a horse. I was hooked, and that was it.
Everybody knows I was in a bad barn fire back in 2000. I planned on being a driver at that point and stage of my life, and then I just couldn't hold them no more. With the fire hurt me quite a bit with my legs and my arm holding a horse, so I switched to training, and that was the best thing I ever did. Obviously, training's went pretty good so far, and I'm probably doing a lot better at that than I would out there on the track driving, even though I don't like to tell my drivers that, but probably the best thing it's not a good thing that happened to me, but it worked out best for my future.
My big accident in Woodbine, it just changed the whole outlook, how I do things. Like, I was pretty stressed out then and stuff, so it, just trying to do good, and now I just a little more low-key, just kind of appreciate things a lot more, and so I think that changed my life the most.
I was in a very bad accident about 7 years ago and broke my femur in about 40 places. Had major surgery. They weren't sure if I would ever be able to drive again. And I worked really hard to get back, and that was probably a life-changing moment, to be, healthy and racing, and then all of a sudden not knowing what you're going to do the next minute. So that was pretty big.
Well, there's a number of things. Surviving cancer so far has been a real change for me, and being around and enjoying my granddaughter. So I think those are two things that have really changed my life.
My son being born, he's almost 4, and now every decision to make, it depends on him. Everything is best for him, and then we follow after, and that's fun. I like it like that.
Well, probably when my father died, he died at a fairly young age, and I was only 19 at the time, so that kind of gave me an eye-opener that it was time to become a man in an awful hurry and get to work.
That one's an easy one to answer. I guess in about 1993, I was president of the PEI Senators, which was the Ottawa Senators farm team, American Hockey League farm team at the time in Charlottetown and PEI. And we had hired a guy from Newfoundland, named Gary Thompson, as our manager, business manager. And he was about 34 years old. On a Friday, he asked me to go if I wanted to go golf with him, and I said, no, I'm too busy, too much work to do, whatever. Anyway, Sunday night he had a massive stroke, and he's still alive, but for all intents and purposes, his life has changed dramatically, and that certainly changed my life. So I've gone with the philosophy since that time, planet life's going to be a long one, and live like tomorrow's your last.